Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This is Knit Picks Andean Treasure. This 100% baby alpaca yarn features 18 colors. The colorway that we chose is Sprout Heather. This 50-gram skein with 110 yards works up as a DK weight yarn. The suggested gauge on a US 3 to 5 or 3 1/4 and 3 3/4 millimeter needles is 24 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For our swatch, I'll be using a 4.5 millimeter needle size. In today's video, we're going to review and score Knit Picks Andean Treasure using our 4 categories, which are traction, softness, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Would you like to feel a sample of our top picks out of over 100 yarns that we've reviewed on this channel? Click the link below to get your first month's free specialty yarn card, knitting patterns, and more. Let's get started. Actually, before I talk about the yarn, let me share a quick little piece of my confusion with you. So this is advertised as a DK weight yarn, but the label says a 2, which in the United States means a baby or sport weight yarn, not a light or DK weight. To me, this seems like a DK, especially with the yardage, so maybe the label was a misprint. I don't know for sure, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. For real this time, for traction, we give Andean Treasure a score of 4 out of 5. This yarn knit up beautifully. I didn't notice any splitting and the alpaca fibers didn't get caught on my needles. Speaking of fibers, this one actually didn't have as long a fiber sticking out from the yarn as alpaca yarns usually do. Maybe that will mean less irritation over time. When it comes to needles, wooden, plastic, or bamboo would give you some extra grip if you wanted, but I loved using my nickel-plated ones. For softness, we give it a score of 4.7 out of 5. So my question is this an alpaca version of Swish? We fell in love with that yarn, a superwash merino wool by Knit Picks, and it really is remarkable how much this yarn feels like it, but with 100% baby alpaca. It's so bouncy and soft, and do you see this stunning heather coloring? When working with it, we noticed a very minuscule amount of dryness, not enough to keep me away from using it again though. There are different types of alpaca yarn fibers, and this one is 100% baby alpaca, meaning it's the finest and softest grade harvested from the first shearing of a young alpaca, typically when they're around 1 to 2 years old. For comparison, it is softer than Barocco Ultra Alpaca and not quite as soft as Lion brand baby alpaca. I'd say it's pretty comparable to Drops Alpaca. For a micron count or softness scale rating, we'd estimate it to be about a 20.5, exactly like Swish, and softer than your typical alpaca. Did you know that baby alpaca fibers are hypoallergenic because they lack the itchy lanolin that's found in sheep's wool? For durability, we give it a score of 4 out of 5. Baby alpaca yarn is known for being incredibly soft and luxurious, but it's also durable, especially when compared to other natural fibers like merino wool. However, its durability can depend on several factors like fiber thickness, yarn quality, use, and care. Because this fiber is so fine and delicate, yes, they may be softer, but also can make them more susceptible to wear over time. Alpaca does have the tendency to stretch a lot when blocking and with wear, so that's something to keep in mind too. When it came to our stress test, our swatch showed some small pilling fabric to fabric and about 5 small pill balls when feeling it with my hands. This yarn may be one to use for shawls, scarves, and garments, things that experience less friction rather than something like socks. For cost, we give it a score of 2.7 out of 5. For being a 50-gram skein, you can expect to pay $8.99 US per skein. That breaks down to about 8 cents per yard, meaning a size medium sweater quantity would cost approximately $98. However, Knit Picks does often run sales, so take the overall cost maybe with a grain of salt. Overall, we give Andean Treasure a score of 3.85 out of 5. Now this is a yarn I would definitely work with again. I loved its bounce, super squishy and soft hand, and actually its smaller amount of alpaca fibers. I'm curious if it would stretch out as much over time though, as other alpaca fibers seem to do, since this one doesn't have as much stretch when pulling on the yarn as I expected it to. Have you used Knit Picks Andean Treasure yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's review, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.